Hey everyone, this is Griff here. It's part of Griff's Gaming. This video is a little bit, I think it's a little bit overdue with just with the whole future of the game as a whole and when this actually came out. But I wanted to really give myself enough time to reflect and theorize and piece together, you know, what this means to me, what this means to the community, what this means to everyone, and trying to just share my feelings and thoughts on the future content releases of Dragalia Lost. So for those of you who don't know, and those of you who are looking at this and saying, Griff, you usually release your videos at this certain time, you usually don't sound this upset or, melancholy in your videos. I wanted this to be a more genuine reaction and a more genuine kind of reason. I don't even know how to even put this. I keep most of my videos unscripted and most of my videos as like, my reactions to things, how I feel about things. But this is a bit different. So, as part of the news of yesterday Reset, they released an update. Yuji Okada released an update saying that the number of new adventures, dragons to be added each month, including gameplay elements such as new onslaught and Coliseum events, will no longer be added starting in December. And essentially, that the new adventures and dragons would be altered somewhat. He didn't say if it would be more or less, but basically starting this November, the game's development and management structure will undergo some changes, accompanied by a reduction in the amount of content released each month going forward. So, when this broke, a lot of people were taking it as a call to end of service, and more of like the final hoorah, the final frontier before the end of the game. And I don't think that's the case, and I think that there's a lot of things in here that are, it's only 10, 9 lines of text, but I think that it really holds a lot of weight for a lot of people. As a day one player of the game, as someone who has been here from Ezelith's first banner, which didn't even have a focus dragon and focus unit of the same element, to someone who spent 300 rolls on Galadric only to having disbark him and is now contemplating going for Volk even though he barely has 300 summons left. This means a lot to me. This game and this community that I've been able to be a part of really means a lot to me. And as people know, all good things eventually must come to an end. And I'm gonna try not to get emotional thinking about the end of this game. I know it's silly to get emotional thinking about the end of a game, but it really does mean a lot to me, and it means a lot to a lot of people. This game really became a lot of people's escape and a lot of people's way to deal with the story of their life and going through a difficult phase. I started playing this game when I graduated from high school, and now here I am in my third year of United States college. It's really been there for me, and to get an update like this, which could mean the end of the game, could mean the start of the beginning of reduction of content, could mean a lot of things. It hit me hard, and I really wanted to put an update out yesterday, and I just didn't have it in me. And I wanted to put a video out earlier today for the normal time I usually upload videos. Just didn't have it in me. But I knew I wanted to address this before going forward with content, before going forward with the game. Because this really changes a lot of things with my life and a lot of things with the channel as a whole. I mean, this video is more of a retrospective on what the end of Dragalia would be. And, I have a channel that's based in Dragalia. I've been doing this for over a year, or been trying to, and a lot of my content is Dragalia. I've tried to branch out. It doesn't seem people are that interested in it, but my channel's not going to go away when Dragalia ends, but it's still something that means a lot to me. And I remember days and nights of watching Dragalia Foundry, living like Log, watching Quinty, and just really getting like this feel of community and this feel of celebration over this game that I love so much. But I want to preface this as I don't think this is the end of the game. In fact, I think this could be a good thing for the game as a whole. A lot of my feelings on this come towards the fact that this doesn't necessarily come from a place of financial or development struggle. I think that Dragalia, entering its third year, has reached a point where it has a lot of just backlined content. If you look at the game right now and you go to Knott's Notes and you look at the encyclopedia, there are 267 characters in this game, and that's a lot of characters. As a day one player, looking at it right now, I only have 234 of them. I don't even have all the characters in the game. As far as dragon goes, there's 123 dragons, which I only have 120 of. So by November, by December, it's almost likely that we'll be at around 300 and 150 dragons, which isn't a lot. Well, it is a lot, but it isn't like, that's something that we as a player base take for granted, and something that we think of as like, oh, that's not that much. It really is. It really is something that, if you're coming as a new player, 300 units that you have to take care of, 300 people that you're thinking of and building teams about. Well, I think this comes in most with the time attack that happened this last week. One of the leading comps, I think in fact the leading comp, was comprised of Marth, which was a limited time Fire Emblem crossover character, and 3 Valentine's Orions, which are all 3-star characters that were released at the height of the first year. I believe it was just around the Valentine's period, and then got re-released back into it to be permanent units a bit later. I think the second year. But when you're looking at a game of this size, it's been going on for 3 years now. It's going to be entering its third year just coming up. It really is something that we take for granted how often they put out new content. Every month they're putting out, 2 new events, 4 different banners of characters, all this new stuff. They'd have a gala banner each month. That changed from what it was just one every other month. All of this stuff is such a huge ramping up of what we had originally. And I think that there's a lot of reasons why they could want to do this. One of them could be quality. I think that if, a lot of people talk really fondly about events like the first anniversary raid event, and all these older events. As we get into the current day, there aren't too many fans of these onslaught and defensive and Coliseum type events in the forms of what they actually do for the game. In the forms of what they do, they're basically just filler events. And I think that we really could see a period where we get things like, a focus on void battles again, which disappeared completely when they added the onslaught mid-month events. A focus on the chapters, a focus on a mentor system. All these old things that were really, kind of negative viewed and kind of like left to die as the game went forward. It's really changed how we've looked at the game as a whole. And I think it's important to put it into perspective of, Dragalia is a game. It is a product. You're looking at something that's making money. This game just received its second album. It's received multiple crossovers. It's likely to receive another crossover coming up on the anniversary. It's likely to receive another huge crossover coming up in February. All of these things matter to the game. And for us to come from a point of, basically being completely unknown to now, it's pretty cool. And I think that this is really... I think a lot of people are going to read this and say, Dragalia is dying. It's been to 3 years. 3 years is great. And I'm glad that we've been it to 3 years, and I hope that we can last even longer. But if this was the end, I think I'd be happy and I'd be satisfied, but I'd always want more. And I don't think that this message necessarily means the end of the game. I don't think that it's at a point where we're, wondering about the game at all. It's difficult to understand the relationship between Cygames and Nintendo with this game. What this could mean is that, they're cutting down on staff and cutting down on content because they're getting less people. This could be the merger from when Cygames takes full property of this game, when Nintendo takes full property of this game. It could mean, that they're having staffing cut or having people move to a different team to work on a different aspect of Dragalia Lost. This could be even an indication of a mobile game port, or a Switch ports rather, as we're looking at, a reduction in content. They could have had something in the works, or could start working on something now in preparation for that, and that all of that would mean we would see less content. And I think what's so important is that we look at the future of this game. In a month from now, just about, it's going to be the 3rd anniversary. And whenever there's an anniversary, there's usually some sort of Dragalia Digest, which gives us an update on the game coming up in the next few months. But anniversary ones have always been special because they always introduce the next form of endgame content. Currently, right now, the endgame content we have, the Sinister Dominion, isn't even done yet, and I don't even think it will be done by December. So, you know, if we're looking at that and we're taking true into retrospective, if they announce a new form of endgame content going forward, that will last us a year. And I don't think they put systems out. Quinty put this best. He tweeted this, and I thought, absolutely. Dragalia's latest update added in 5 new affliction resistances into the game, and basically prefaced them around the fact that they were going to add more prints in the future that would directly interact with them. Why would they do that if they were planning the end of the game? Why would they even put out this message if they were planning to end the game at this point? This communication, this almost transparency from the developers is such a huge reason why I think this is such a good update, because it's something that's real. It's something that we can tangibly feel and see as, you know, coming off of things like Wormite reduction, coming off of things like adding sparking to the game, coming off of monthly interviews with the radio show host where they ask questions. They're trying to be transparent. And I think them not saying, hey, this is the end, them saying, hey, this is something we're thinking about doing, this is something that's going to happen, and it's real, and I really appreciate that. And it says at the end, please rest assured we're hard at work developing content for the game's 3rd anniversary in late September and beyond, and we will continue to hold events and releasing main campaign chapters as we hope to delight and entertain the players going forward. They're not done, and they don't want to be done, and I think that's such a huge part of why this gives me even a little bit of hope. So when I first read this, I was somber. I was upset. I was, not feeling great. But now, after seeing so many people, after talking to so many people, looking and identifying and really theorizing other games, games like Shadowverse, games like Pecorin, have all gone through arcs like this, where they said, hey, we're going to cut down some content, we're going to slow out the pace of things, and we're going to try to make things better. And those games are some of the best games Cygames has. So it really... it could be an indication of great things, and I just want people, I think the reason I'm making this video, the reason I'm even talking about this, is I want people to understand and realize that this is not the end of Dragalia. Dragalia will not be lost on us, no pun intended. Well, I guess pun intended. But Dragalia is with us, and this is something that we can cherish, something we can hold going forward. And as a day 1 player, it almost makes me happy to see communication and feelings from the developers. Now, if this ends up being the end, and back in December people come and bring this video to me and say, hey, you said this wasn't going to end, now it did, I don't think my feelings will change. I'm glad for the time we've had with Dragalia. I'm glad with the time that we've been able to spend with it. I'm glad with the feelings I've been able to put in it, the friends I've been able to make, the videos I've been able to do, the time I've spent, and the way that this game has helped me is... I can't value that. It's so precious to me. So I wanted that just right now. I'm going to end the video here because I don't want to keep you rambling forever. But thank you for watching. Thank you for playing this game with me. Really, I think that everyone who plays this game really is a part of a family, part of a community that we have grown and learned to laugh with. I go on Twitter now and I see all these people standing Cleo or standing Ellie or making jokes about what characters say, drawing characters, cosplaying characters, all of that. That's something that we did, and that really makes me happy that I'm able to contribute to it. So again, thank you all, and I hope that as the game goes forward, as we go forward, we're able to keep that magic alive, even if there is reduced content, even if there's no content, we're able to keep this game alive. So thank you all for watching, thank you all for playing, and as always, I'll see you next time.